Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jamie James, King of Games, and today I want to talk about the serious problem I have with Sindel. Now, for those of you who haven't been living under a rock, you know that Sindel has been retconned, and she has been retconned tremendously. Now, at first, I said in my mind, even though I was originally annoyed, I made many videos about how annoyed I was, even before she came out once I heard the leaks, but I said I was going to give NRS a chance. I wanted to see where they were going to take the character, how far they were going to go with it, and everything in between. I even told other people to go easy on them. However, that was until I watched the Kombat Cast and found out why she was retconned. Take a look, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary.
What do you want to what do you want to say about Sindel as a character?
Well, she's from MK3. She is the Queen of Edenia who betrayed King Jared to side with Shao Kahn.
Okay.
Because she wanted power and the status to be the Empress.
Right.
And that is actually new information. Previously, it was thought that she genuinely loved Jared and that she was mind controlled to turn evil. And in this game, we're actually exploring that is not the case. She is every bit as evil as Shao Kahn, and they are a genuine, actual couple. And it is a very exciting piece of story information.
So it's a new path for the Queen.
Yes, and this is not some kind of shenanigan. This is the real lore, and it's a pretty big for Sindel. It's a very new interpretation of her personality, and
that's exciting.
There's a couple reasons that I'm really excited for it.
Okay.
The first is there was always, in my opinion, a disconnect between the way she looked and played and acted in gameplay and the lore. Like, you look at MK Deception, and she's monstrous looking. She has the cool gothic makeup, the scream, the weird powers. She's clearly an evil character.
Right.
But in the lore, she's this loving mother who's super benevolent and is like this just wonderful person. And
Sure.
It didn't really match, and now I think it totally does. She's never been more of like the sinister sorceress kind of witchy powers, and she's all in on being evil as well.
Sounds good. John, can we take a quick look at the Sindel piece of art?
And then the second thing I think is interesting is it really adds to the agency of her as a character. She now is her own person who's in control of her actions. This is not mind control or manipulation. She is very strong, very powerful. She's pretty much Shao Kahn's peer, and I think that's a really rad concept to see. Very Lady Macbeth.
Awesome. Okay, and that was Stephanie's lore minute.
So, as you can see, they retconned her for two specific reasons, and both of those reasons I thought were complete bullcrap. First of all, one of the reasons why Sindel is such an interesting character was because of the way that she looked. I mean, she looked evil from the get-go. She looked evil and sinister and everything in between. But the fact that she was a loving mother, that made people flock to her. That made people care about her. The fact that looks can be deceiving. So for Stephanie to say that it didn't match, you're basically saying that you want your characters to be these low-level stereotypical archetypes, two-dimensional characters, which gaming is not supposed to be in 2019. That's part of what made her great. And honestly, I found it super hypocritical of Stephanie, of all people, to say that just because you look a certain way, it means you're supposed to act a certain way, especially considering you look physically male, but you're wearing a dress. And I'm not saying that to throw shade to anybody who's transgender or has gender dysphoria or anything in between, because I believe be who you are and I love everybody. But I just thought that was so hypocritical to say something like that. I mean, even in the natural world, people often look a certain way, but that doesn't mean that's who they are. The biggest, sometimes most intimidating people are the nicest, kindest people that you'll ever come across. And vice versa. Some of the prettiest people who speak really well, have the nicest petite little voices, are sometimes the vicious, most evil, psychopathic people you could ever come across. But that's part of what makes these characters so unique. And so to say something like that, saying that it didn't match, that's what made her amazing, because she wasn't some two-dimensional character. She did look like a witch. She did look sinister. She had the glowing white eyes, the gothic makeup, but she was this loving, caring mother who went above and beyond for her daughter and to save the realms. That was beautiful. That made her amazing. Not to mention that Why did she have to die now? Like, the retcon does not work because they're trying to say Quan Chi killed her, but that doesn't make any sense. Why would she die in the first place if she committed suicide to save the realms? If she didn't have a problem, with Shao Kahn from the get go, then why did she die? There was no reason for her to die. There was no reason for anything to go the way that it did. Sindel was such a huge character, and this changes everything. It doesn't make sense. Even when you try to make it make sense, it doesn't, because the retcon wasn't good. Now, if you wanted to make her evil and say that she was brainwashed even beforehand, or if you wanted to say this is a different timeline, Sindel, or something like that, then okay, that could work, and you wanted to make her evil for a little while. But to say that she's always been evil and she portrayed Jared from the get-go, that's not cool. And it doesn't add agency, which is their second point. It makes her a two-dimensional, boring character. She's an evil character who's pure evil, who's always been evil from the get-go. Evil, evil, evil. Where does that give her agency? It makes her just like everybody else. She's not one note. Hell, even Shao Kahn wasn't one note because he spared Kitana. Even Melina wasn't one note because she managed to, be cool with Tanya and Rain. These people, you have to realize that some of the best characters, even when they're evil, is because they're more than just two-dimensional characters. They have a little resonance. They do have a little bit of caring somewhere down on the inside. But you made Sindel like the worst archetype two-dimensional villain with nothing more, going for her except she wants power. Like, it's just, oh man, it sucks. Take a look at what Sindel is supposed to be in MK Legacy Season 1.
Once he was in complete control, Shah Kahn took Queen Sindel as his wife and Kitana as his daughter. Shah Kahn grew to love Sindel, but it was returned only with hate. Fearful Kitana would one day feel the same and turn against him, he devised a plan.
The princess will learn to despise me once she knows the truth. Make one in her likeness that won't.
As you wish.
A clone of Kitana was created, identical in every way except one. Terrified of Shah Kahn corrupting Kitana's young soul, Queen Sindel had no choice but to relinquish her own, so it could merge with her daughter's.
That was the real Sindel, guys. And so back to my original point, making a character evil just because they look evil is not cool. One of my favorite characters of all time is B. Bonnie Hood from the Darkstalker series, because they got it right. They took a character that looked super kind and sweet and made her one of the most evil characters in the entire franchise. And she's human. So in a character full of monsters, that worked. So I want you guys to take a look at this trailer of Baby Bonnie Hood, also known as BB Hood or Boletta in the Japanese version. So take a look at this trailer, and I'm going to come back with the rest of my commentary. Take a look.
Some say appearances can be deceiving. With her, they are deadly. Do not be misled. There are no cakes or wine in her basket, only tools of our demise. Behind her innocent, childlike face lies a heart blacker than any monster, and she is ready to hunt.
So as you can see, just because a character looks good doesn't mean they're good. And I think that the Darkstalkers did such an amazing job. Baby Bonnie Hood is probably one of the most famous characters to come out of that series. She's made numerous appearances on Marvel vs. Capcom, and she's still remembered. And they got it right. Like, they put a human in there, but not just any human. In a world full of monsters, the most evil character is human. Blonde hair, blue eyes, you know, sweet voice, but is packing heat, has guns, Uzis, knives. Everybody's scared of her. The most vicious of demons are scared of her. And that's amazing. That gives the character so much more grit, so make them more interesting. So to make it, to have this mindset that just because you look a certain way, that you're supposed to be evil, I think it's just so foolish on NetherRealm Studios' part to make a character so two-dimensional and stereotypical. What's next? Because you're black, you have to talk rap music? I mean, come on, man. Like, I thought NRS was better than that. And I tried to give them chance after chance. I even, caught an attitude with, certain YouTubers because I thought they were overreacting. But when I saw the Kombat Cast, I was just disgusted. I was disgusted on why they changed her. And it wasn't just about Sindel. It was the fact of, looks can be deceiving, man. Like, you can't just stereotype people and say that because they look a certain way means they have to be a certain way. A lot of us, people think we're overreacting, but we grew up with this character. This character we've known since MK3. That was, almost 20 plus years ago, man. And so I think it's just foolish to me. I like Sindel's look. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't like her look. I like her look. I like her design. I like the way she speaks. But the motivations for changing her, I think, were foolish. And the retcon just doesn't work. It doesn't work. No matter how hard you try, it just does not work. She did so much, and now you just reduced her to this two-dimensional, honestly one-dimensional villain who's nothing more than power hungry. You've made her literally stereotypical, baseless, useless villain. She's no better than Collector. She's just greedy and power hungry. But anyway, that's my rant. Tell me what you guys think. Like, subscribe, and help me grow my YouTube channel. I'm just a new YouTuber trying to make it in these YouTube streets. Thanks, and remember, keep on gaming. Peace.